Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new chapter of Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another chapter, thank you so much for giving this little horror podcast a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review over in your favorite podcast app, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. So this chapter, I'm back with a fun little slasher serial killer shark movie in the new film Dangerous Animals, which hits theaters June 6th. Honestly, I can't wait to kind of talk to you about this one. I'm going to keep it as spoiler-free as possible when I dive into it. But yeah, I'll just say it was a fun one. Before we dive into Dangerous Animals, I just want to say if you're in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. I'm so thankful to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to bring you a horror screening once a month. And our screening for June, on June 20th, is the 2005 remake of House of Wax. This is one of my personal favorite remakes, and I absolutely love this movie. Has one of my top 10 kills also in the film, and it is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, if you can believe that. But come out June 20th at 10 p.m. and let's watch a movie together. All right, let's dive into Dangerous Animals.
Oh my God, I can't believe I let you talk me into this.
It's gonna be a great experience.
Yeah.
All right, crew. There's still one thing we need to take care of. I promise you it'll help. Close your eyes. Take a big, deep inhale. And out. And in. And out. Welcome aboard. I see you, come alive on that board. It's spiritual. I feel the same about what I do. It's my true calling.
Trapped on a killer's boat with hungry sharks circling below, a surfer must outwit a predator more dangerous than the ocean itself. Will she escape or become the next offering to the deep? This is directed by Sean Byrne, and it stars Jai Courtney, Kasey Harrison, and Josh Houston, as well as a few others. It hits theaters June 6th. So this Friday, go check it out. But right off the top, I'm going to say I really enjoyed this movie. It was a fun time. Think of it as something like Wolf Creek out in the ocean. Kind of gave me a lot of those similarities to that. I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I don't want to give too much away on the film because I want you to go check it out. Like the synopsis says, it is about a surfer who is abducted. Kasey Harrison's character of Zephyr, she's kind of like this free-flowing, doesn't really have anything to tie her down. She's just out surfing the waves, just enjoying life. And you can tell there are some other things in her life that kind of hit her inside. And she meets this man played by Josh Houston, and it's one of those things that is she starting to connect to someone else, and she kind of gets scared and runs off, and then she gets abducted. Jai Courtney, he is absolutely phenomenal in this movie. He digs down deep and kind of gives you that performance of, as I mentioned before, Wolf Creek. You get a little bit of, that character, that killer in Wolf Creek, a little bit of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. There is just something wrong with his character. He's not all there. He is crazy. He is out there. I mean, there are some scenes. Sean Byrne, who also directed Hard Candy and The Loved Ones, which if you haven't seen either of those, both of those are great movies. But just like in both of those movies, he plays a lot with music. And there's a scene with Jai Courtney where he puts on a song, and it almost felt Silence of the Lambs because he's kind of dressed up and he's dancing around as this music plays, and the lyrics from the music just kind of fit the scene that is happening. Like, he just hits this whole new level of crazy that we haven't seen. I mean, Jai Courtney, he has been in Suicide Squad. He's been in Die Hards. He's been in so many other films and a lot of like big franchises. But I feel like this movie really gave him that freedom to kind of shine. I feel like Sean just said, hey, go with it. I was supposed to interview Sean, but unfortunately something came up and I could not make the interview, which is a bummer because I wanted to ask him a lot about this character and everything set on a boat, because it is pretty much one single location. Most of the movie takes place on this boat, and she's trapped in it with somebody else. The way he kind of plays with them, it almost turns into a cat and mouse because she tries to escape multiple times, but he ultimately gets her, puts her back, and says, oh, because you did this, now you're going to see this. It just gets darker. It is fairly bloody. Yes, there are sharks involved in this movie, but I feel like they're not really there as a main piece of the movie. He attracts these sharks to kind of get rid of bodies. And there are a couple scenes where that happens that you're just like, oh, that was gnarly. I was really, really surprised how much I enjoyed this movie and how much Kasey, Harrison, and Jai Courtney kind of played off each other. He's crazy. He is after her, and she just finds that point where it's like, I just want to live. I got to do whatever it takes just to survive. And she is fighting, and she fights, trying to get away from this man. I won't give away the end of what happens, of how everything ties up. But there are a few scenes with Jai Courtney. I mentioned the dance scene before, and he films all of this stuff on like an old camcorder. And it just felt like that mix of movies we have seen before, like Silence of the Lambs, Wolf Creek, you name other kind of crazy, almost serial killer-esque, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you have the crazy family, but this is all just him out in the water. We've never really seen as much this type of story out in the water. Usually it's out in the desert, out in the wilderness, out in the backwoods, out in the other secluded areas, isolated areas. And I mean, the ocean is vast. Setting up a killer out in the middle of the ocean, it worked on every level. And Jai Courtney's performance just elevated it even more. So I really highly recommend checking out Dangerous Animals. This hits theaters June 6th. I'm sure it will be streaming sometime later this year. I know it's going to hit Shudder eventually later this year. But go out to the theater. Go check out Dangerous Animals. It's definitely worth your time. That will wrap up my talk on Dangerous Animals, because if I dive too much further into it, I feel like I'm going to give certain scenes away and certain things that happen away that I don't want to spoil it for you. The only time I think I really spoil it here is if I have a guest on and we just kind of go for it. But when it's just me, I don't spoil it. I want you to go check out this movie. Double feature. I've been doing double features with all the movies I talk about this year. And I went back and forth. I was like, I could do Wolf Creek because it was a similar type of killer abduction, kind of very similar in the way things kind of played out. Wolf Creek on the water. There's another film that takes place on the water called Harpoon that is a good kind of water double feature. So Harpoon came out a few years ago, and it is 3 people out on a boat. The boat breaks down, and it kind of turns into this play between these characters. Trust ends up getting lost between them, one of them going after the others. It is just another tense, set in a single location in this boat movie that just ramps up until the very end. No sharks involved in this one, but it is the type of movie that would play well with Dangerous Animals. There you go. There's my double feature for this chapter. Go watch Dangerous Animals and Harpoon. Either order, watch Harpoon and then Dangerous Animals, whichever way you want to do it. That's the double feature for this week. Before I head out, I just want to tell you Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 is now available on DVD and Blu-ray. With over 2 hours of special features, generations of blood have led to this. Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2. Own a piece of the legacy now on DVD and Blu-ray. Thank you for listening to this chapter of Old Man Brad. Just make sure you subscribe to the show and you will never miss any chapter, any of my Tales from Tubi Versus series, and a wealth of other things that will be coming out throughout the summer. As we just started with my friend Drew from the Real Feels podcast, we just started our Summer of Scares from June 1st, leading up to my birthday on September 1st. Over on social media, hashtag Summer of Scares, as well as we're going to have a few themed episodes coming here and there, so watch for those. But just subscribe and you will never miss any of that. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.